Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Pig Parlor. I am your guide, ManBearPig_97, and today we are back with more Day-R Survival. Now, in the last episode, we were working our way back to Bryansk from Arzamas. We were attempting to try to track down the quest to acquire a wolf cub when we actually stumbled upon one that was severely dehydrated, starving, and near death, being attacked by basically a small horde of rats. We were able to save it, made our way back to Bryansk, and as you can see, it picked up where it left off at the small house. Now, please bear with me. I am actually outside right now. It is a beautiful sunny day. My daughter is outside playing, doing her thing, but it is a little bit windy. So if you notice any kind of sounds of what sounds like a tornado about to rip through in the background, just know that the gust of wind was probably pretty strong and just happened to blow directly to my phone just right. So without further ado, I'm outside. There's nobody around. I can't be seen from any of the windows. We can observe the house from the outside, look in through the living room window, look in through the kitchen window, go through the main door into the hallway, or climb through the window into the bedroom. Let's observe the house from the outside. The house has a hallway and 3 rooms, a kitchen, a living room, and a bedroom. From the hallway, you can go outside or continue on to the kitchen or the living room. You have to go through the living room to get to the bedroom. There are open windows in the kitchen and the bedroom. The kitchen has a cellar. Besides the house, the property also includes an outhouse and a barn. Finish your search. Let's look in through the living room window. There are 2 people in the living room, Tima the giant and a bald, nerdy-looking guy called Ivan. Tima is sitting on the threadbare couch. He disassembled an assault rifle, and now he's cleaning the piston and the gas tube with a cloth. His AK is sitting behind him, which means that he's cleaning somebody else's gun. Ivan is playing solitaire at the table. Most of the table is covered with newspapers, and on top of those are food scraps, empty glasses and jars, dirty knives and forks, ashtrays, and a huge coal samovar. Keep going. Let's look in through the kitchen window. The cellar door is open in the kitchen. It's unclear what Pimples is doing down there. At the long countertop, the Kosyak is singing something under his breath. He's got 2 revolvers tucked into his belt. On the counter, there are 6 open cans of condensed milk and 2 enamel bowls, one of which is full of dry bread. Along the opposite wall, there is a dirty Minsk fridge, a sink with a pile of dishes in it, and a gas stove with some kind of grain scattered over it. Keep going. Let's climb through the open window into the bedroom. I'm in the bedroom. Apart from the ugly red polka dot wallpaper and the ancient double bed, there seems to be nothing of note in here. Next to the door, there is a vanity table with cosmetic bottles of all shapes and sizes, and in the opposite corner is a huge wardrobe and an ironing board. No sound is coming from the living room, even though the door is slightly ajar. Carefully search the bedroom. The wardrobe is stuffed full of old clothes, but a smallish person could fit in there. I could also hide under the bed. The room partition will hide me if someone comes in. A body could be hidden under there too. I found a broken clothes iron on the top shelf in the wardroom. The cord is practically ripped off. I turned it over in my hands and thought, I could use this cord as a ligature. I tore the cord out of the iron and used my knife to cut off the plug. Keep going. So we can either lure one bandit by smashing a bottle from the vanity on the floor and hide in the wardrobe, or we can climb out through the window. Let's climb out through the window and wait momentarily. There's some kind of crashing noise coming from the kitchen. What's going on in there? Look through the kitchen window. As soon as I looked in through the window, another crash came from the cellar, followed by a triumphant shout. A minute later, a filthy but happy Pimples climbed out of the cellar. He was clasping a 3-liter bottle of wine. A 3-liter. Take a look at this. Why the hell did he have to nail the box shut? My hands are full of splinters. If I ever meet the guy who owns this place, I'll wring his frickin' neck. Let's keep going. The Cossack took the bottle out of his hands, pulled the cork out, sniffed, and made a face. Pig swill. Pig swill, Pimples repeated, outraged. This is top-class wine. Home-brewed stuff, not that paint stripper they used to sell in shop. Cheers. Pig swill, already read that. Let's go, the leader ordered curtly. He gave the bottle back to Pimples and headed for the living room. Pimples limped after him. Let's keep going. They went in to the living room. Let's climb into the kitchen window. I'm in the kitchen. The entrance to the cellar gapes open in the middle of the floor. I peered down and saw only sagging shelves, big dark cans, and cobwebs, lots of cobwebs. A wooden flight of steps leads down. There's a counter running along the left-hand side of the kitchen. On it are 6 open cans of condensed milk and 2 enamel bowls. One of them is full of rusk pieces. The other has condensed milk with breadcrumbs mixed in. Along the right-hand wall, there is a dirty Minx fridge, a sink with a pile of dishes in it, and a gas stove with some kind of grain scattered over it. Let's search the kitchen real quick. In the time they had been living in the former investigator's dacha, the bandits had managed to work their way through all the food. I didn't see a crumb of edible food anywhere, apart from the condensed milk and the rusks. Even the jars of fancy spices had been emptied. All the dishes, including the expensive dinner plates, greasy and sticky, were piled up in and around the sink. Let's look in the refrigerator. I opened the refrigerator, and my nose was hit by a stench so powerful that spasms started somewhere in my throat. The smell could have been from a whole fridge worths of rotten food, but there was only an open can of sardines. To be fair, there weren't any premium quality sardines left in the tin, just a musky yellowish goo. The sardine sludge was the same color as condensed milk. Really? Pour the rotten meat into the condensed milk and mix it in. There we go. Yummy! I carefully poured the liquid from the can into the bowl of condensed milk and stirred it until it was fully mixed in. It looked the same color as before. It didn't smell of anything, and I hoped that the taste hadn't changed much. After lunch today, my friends will be sick to their stomach at the very least. That might be interesting, everybody. We're going to have to try to see how that pans out. Let's keep going. I'm in the kitchen. So let's go down into the cellar, everybody. I started carefully down the stairs. They were crooked, and the left stringer hit the beam loudly with every step. I turned on my flashlight and looked around. Rotten, blackened wood covered with cobwebs. Here and there, glass and tin containers gleamed in the darkness. Moldy jam was visible in some of them. An unknown liquid had been poured on the floor. Bits of wood and glass floated in it. The wood crate that Pimples broke open was beside the stairs, empty. There was nothing else to do down here. I went back up, stopped on the threshold, and wiped the soles of my feet with a rag. Keep going. I don't really want to go out into the hallway because they're probably going to see me, so let's climb back out through the window. Or, wait. Let's do that. I'm in the hallway. The light is poor out here. Embers are smoldering in the stove. There is a coat rack on the opposite side and an old-fashioned console table with a mirror. The door to the living room is shut tight. Through the empty doorway in the opposite wall, I can see the kitchen and the open door to the cellar. Let's search the hallway. As I crept along the hallway, the floorboards groaned violently beneath my feet. Luckily, the living room door was shut and they couldn't hear me. Several heavy coats and a winter camouflage jacket were piled up under the coat rack and next to the console table. The coats looked like they had spent a week lying in a swamp. After rummaging behind the stove, I pulled out a poker. It was thick enough to use as a weapon, but maybe it could be used for another purpose. I took it. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can crack open the door and listen to the conversation in the living room. Hey, can you quit eating that junk? You're making me sick. Either we play or I'm out of here, said Ivan, I think. Huh? Want some? Shoulda just said, man. It goes really good with the wine, Pimples said good-naturedly. I don't freaking want it, and I don't want your wine either, Ivan said, sounding strained. Keep listening. Let's see. Hey, man, don't get your panties in a twist. You didn't lose big, Tima said. Have a drink and you'll feel better. Screw you, the nerd replied piteously. They fell silent. Closed the door. Let's go outside. Okay, so looking through the living room window. All four bandits are in the living room. Tima is still sitting on the couch and cleaning the barrel of the assault rifle. I guess he must get some enjoyment out of it. The Cossack, Ivan, and Pimples are playing cards at the table. The wine has already been poured into glasses, but the Cossack didn't touch his. The nerd is drinking in moderation, but the acne guy is constantly topping up his own glass. Once in a while, he sticks his unwashed hand into the 5-liter jar of sauerkraut and stuffs another fistful of cabbage into his mouth. Yummy. Keep going. Did we do everything in the hallway? Oh, somebody just cried out in the living room. Before I could bring my ear to the gate, there was a loud bang, then the sound of glass breaking. Hey, you crazy? Shouted Pimples. What do you think you're doing, bitch? Who you calling bitch? Ivan replied, breathing heavily. Cossack, did you see it? He's playing us. Look, the bastard's got the deck stacked. Ah! It sounded like somebody got a good punch in. Keep listening. You're drunk. Go sleep it off, came the leader's disaffected voice. You! The nerd's voice trembled with outrage. You broke my glasses. Go sleep, repeated the Cossack without raising his voice. A couple of seconds passed, and I watched through the crack as Ivan retreated to the bedroom. Pimples, clean up your swill and go get some food. The bandits fell silent. Closed the door. I'm in the hallway. Let's go outside. And let's wait for a short while. A few minutes went by. Everything was quiet. Keep going. The Cossack is still sitting at the table. He is strumming the guitar and singing something under his breath. Pimples is crawling across the floor with a cloth, cleaning up the spilled wine and wringing it out into a pot. Tima is still sitting on the couch. Looks like he's dozing off. Next to him is the assembled assault rifle and a handful of cartridges. I see, baby. Well, let Daddy do what he's doing, okay? I'm trying to record. I love you too, baby. Move away from the window. Look in through the bedroom window. The door to the living room is closed. The bed is barely visible from the window, and I have to poke my head in slightly. Ivan is laying on his stomach crossways on the bed. A large bruise is darkened on his face. A revolver peeks out of his jacket pocket. Ivan's glasses are on the vanity. The frames are broken. I listen closely. The bandit is snoring. Let's move away from the window. I'm wanting to see if they're going to start... Let's listen to the conversation. Are you gonna be much longer? I want to eat, Tima said with a yawn. This prick wasted half a bottle of top-class wine, grumbled Pimples. An ass-kicking is the least he deserves. Your top-class wine stinks like cow piss. Hey, Cossack, sing us something, will ya? The one you sang outside Belgrade, remember? The Cossack went to a foreign land. It really spoke to me, you know. The Cossack didn't respond. Closed the door. I'm trying to get them to eat the food. Go to the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. I can go down into the cellar and wait for one of the bandits to come down for food, but I want them to eat the food. Let's climb out through the window. Look in through the bedroom window and see what he's doing. He's still doing the same thing. Move away from the window. Look in through the living room window. Oh, I want to make sure I do this right. Going into the cellar, I nearly fell down the rickety stairs. I had to grab onto the icy brick wall for support. The moldering wood creaks under my feet. It's damp and freezing cold in the cellar. Sit on the bottom step and wait. Yeah, baby, let me get up. Daddy is recording, though, okay?
Sorry.
I froze my ass off for 10 minutes or so, but nobody came into the kitchen. I'll have to change my plan. That's fine. I'm wanting them to eat the food that I mixed up to make them sick and see what happens. I've never been able to do that before. I usually climb in through the window and attack the guy sleeping, and they overhear me. I get him taken out, but I'm not able to hide him in time. They come in and find him, and then they find me, and I have to fight the rest of them off. That's how it happened last time. I want to see if I can change that and maybe make this work out a little bit better. And it looks like they're all still doing their same thing. I climbed into the room as silently as I could and started creeping towards the bed. I didn't take my eyes off the bandit. He didn't move. Another couple of steps and something crunched under my feet. My eyes darted down and I saw a shattered lens from a pair of glasses. Luckily, the sound was too quiet to wake Ivan. No sounds came from behind the closed door. Either this place has great soundproofing or the bandits in the living room weren't talking. Either way, I needed to do everything quickly and quietly and leave no traces. So I can either hit Ivan in the head with the poker, strangle Ivan with the clothes iron cord, slit Ivan's throat, or go outside. It's too risky to make a move right now. Let's go outside. It's too risky to make a move right now. Let's look in through the living room. They're still doing their thing. Can I go in through the doorway? Go into the kitchen? Go out into the hallway? Go outside? Looking through the bedroom window. I guess let's just try this. Let's try that. Dropping one end of the cord under Ivan's neck, I crossed the ends and pulled with all my strength. Ivan's eyes flew open, bulging, and he grabbed at his neck with a terrible croaking sound. He tried to turn onto his back, but I pressed him into the bed with my weight. After a minute, it was all over. I listened. There was no sound beyond the door. Well, I could hide the body under the bed, but Ivan's mysterious disappearance would put the others on their guard. Then I had a better idea. I turned the bandit's collar up to hide his neck and rolled him onto his side so his back was to the door. From this angle, he just looks like he's sleeping. 3 left. Climb outside.
I think you should put a knife.
Baby, can I please record this? Before I could climb out, I heard a scraping sound coming from the kitchen window. I crept up to it and looked inside. The giant Tima was standing by the open cellar door holding bowls of condensed milk and rusk pieces. The pimpled guy's hideous face was sticking up out of the cellar. "I'm filled with this crappy condensed milk. Eat it yourself," Pimples whined. "I want to eat normal food." "Keep going." "Go on and look," Tima laughed. "While you're looking, we'll eat all this." "That's just fine by me, and whatever I find is all mine," Pimples replied and disappeared into the cellar. "You're welcome to it." Tima chuckled and left the kitchen. Look in through the living room window. The Cossack is still sitting at the table. He is strumming the guitar and singing something under his breath. Tima entered the room and sat both bowls in front of the Cossack, who then asked something, probably about pimples. The giant replied, chuckling good-naturedly. The leader raised his eyebrows and seemed to consider something. Then he pointed Tima toward the bedroom door, telling him to call Ivan. Tima nodded and went to the bedroom. The Cossack scratched the place where his right ear used to be. Then he picked up his guitar again, looking through the bedroom window. Tima stood in the doorway and called Ivan's name. There was no response. Of course, the giant walked closer to the bed and called him again, louder this time. "He's out for the count," he shouted to the Cossack. "Should I wake him?" "Screw it, let him sleep," the leader replied. "Come and eat." Tima left, closing the door behind him. I slumped against the wall by the window and tried to breathe normally again. That was close. Time to deal with pimples. Priceless. Everything here is the same as before. Pimples is down in the cellar. Every so often I can hear the creaking protests of rotten floorboards climb into the kitchen. The sound of breaking glass rose up from the cellar. Then it happened again. Clearly Pimples had knocked over jars in a tantrum when he couldn't find anything edible. He had left his AK on the kitchen counter. This could be my best opportunity to get rid of this creep. I might not get as good of a chance again. Drop the refrigerator on the bandit, creep down the cellar stairs and stab the bandit, or close the cellar door. Let's go with 2. With my knife at the ready, I started down the stairs. Unfortunately, the creaking of the steps gave me away. "Who the hell is that?" came Pimple's voice in a sinister whisper. I couldn't tell where he was. The cellar was so dark and cobwebbed. Turn on the flashlight. A hefty jam jar flew at my face. I shielded my head with my arm at the last second, but the bandit came straight at me and shoved me against the wall. I hit the wooden shelf, fell, and hit my head. Next thing I knew, the pimpled creep had sunk his teeth into my hand, the one holding the knife. I yelled in pain. "Stay there," Pimples hissed, and he scuttled up the stairs and into the kitchen. He closed the cellar door. "We'll be back real soon. Get ready to fight." Wonderful. Okay, then. So we are going to do just that. Let's see who wins this time, shall we? Baba baby. Órale, chincadre, no más trabajo. I searched every inch of the house, trying to find any clues, but I turned up nothing. Where could the investigator have gone? If the dacha had been abandoned, I probably... Whoa, hey. Easy. What are you even... Like, you are terrible at this. Okay. Where could the investigator have gone? If the dacha had been abandoned, I probably would have found something here, but the uninvited guests had managed to put their stamp on the place. I'd better free the prisoner. I took the key from Tima's body and headed for the barn. Go into the barn. There were no light sources in the barn apart from the solitary shafts of sunlight coming through the holes in the roof. The floorboards creaked in protest as I tread on them. The prisoner sat cowardly in the same dark corner. Let's free her. At first, the girl glared at me with hatred, but then her expression changed. "Hey, I don't know you. You're not one of them." "No, I'm not one of them. And they are gone now. I killed them. Get up. We need to get out of here. Can you walk on your own?" "You killed them?" Her mouth fell open in amazement. "On your own? Against them all? No way! How did you do it? I'm Varya, by the way." "Good to meet you, Varya. I'll tell you everything on the way. So, can you walk on your own?" Varya looked uncertain. Varya took an uncertain step and staggered. She grabbed onto the wall. "Sorry, my legs aren't cooperating. What do we do? Could you carry me? Only for a little while until my legs are back to normal." You really can't walk on your own?" "See for yourself." "Lift Varya into your arms and carry her out of the barn." As we walked toward the forest, Varya recounted her trials and tribulations at the hands of the bandits. Then she moved on to the tale of her heinous kidnapping, and then she told me in detail about the awfulness of her aunt, who she lived with in a village outside Bryansk. I barely listened. I was too absorbed in my own thoughts. Sorry, what did you say? I said that she's just jealous of me. No, before that, there's a village of survivors outside Bryansk. Can you show me the way? Sure, but you know what I just thought? I don't want to go back to my aunt. Maybe I can travel with you? With me? I confessed that I almost dropped Varya in shock. Yeah, and what? You're strong, brave, you can protect me. You, risked your life to save me. Now I have to pay you back. What am I going to do at my aunt's? I'll be bored out of my mind. Let's do it this way. I'll take you back to your aunt's and I'll go away for a little while. You'll have the chance to think about how you want to thank me, alright? Back to my aunt's? Fine. Hey, can you teach me how to shoot? Gently but firmly in the conversation. Now we've got a girl in our midst. But we did it. Searching for the truth, there is survivor base right there. What do you know? And I guess we can't... Hey, we got an assault rifle. 2 of them to be exact. Look at all the goodies we just got. Love it. That is what I'm talking about. We got a lot of good stuff there. That's what we needed. Like, seriously needed. Although, now I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get well, here we go. This one needs to be broke down because it's about destroyed. So we'll break that one down so that way we have something to repair this one. And hopefully that's going to help in getting our weight down at least a little bit. Because as you can clearly see, we're rather over encumbered. But again, very well worth it. We made that look a lot easier than the last time I tried doing this, that's for sure. What can I dispose of to make up some room? How's my bicycle looking? It's at 100%. I guess let's drop a couple of these. Get us down to about 98% weight. There we go. And now we can travel over to this little survivor base and see what's going on over here. Hopefully there might be something decent. Here we are. There were about a dozen inhabitants, half as many as were in the camp near Tula. From their conversations, I learned that life here wasn't all smooth sailing. The harvest from the kitchen gardens was paltry, and they lived in near starvation. And they only had 3 old hunting guns between the whole village. Find Varnya's aunt and ask the locals about Gavrilov. After dropping off Varnya with her aunt, who turned out to be a perfectly friendly and kind woman, I started asking around about the investigator Gavrilov. Imagine that. Perfectly friendly and kind woman. Who would have ever thought? It so happened that he was well known round those parts. At the height of the epidemic, Pavel Gavrilov and his wife abandoned their holdings and went to Kiev. They probably hoped to flee to Poland while the borders were still open. So let's look around and talk to the locals. I was surprised to find that prisoners make up all, I guess they mean prisoners, peasanters, I guess, make up almost half of the refugees' population. I was told that many of the younger ones went south a long time ago to search for a better place to live. Oleg Yakovlevich, a former architect, is the leader here. So let's talk to the settlement leader. Hey, thank you for your help. I want to ask you for something else. We have a problem. Many of our houses are infected with cockroaches and bed bugs. I am getting sick of all these complaints, but there's nothing I can do. We could use some poison, but we don't have any. Could you find some? That's not so hard. I'll get some poison. Thank you. Wouldn't it be nice to just exterminate them all? I'm starting to take on a Hispanic accent, I guess. Go to Varnia. Bored and nothing to do. Well, I don't want to do anything, I guess. Hey, what caliber cartridges do you have? Big ones like my uncle, or are they smaller? Gently but firmly in the conversation. And there we go. We have finished that. And with that, that is all the time we have for this episode. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss any content when it's uploaded. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this episode and what you would like to see in future episodes. And as always, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you in the next episode.